Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Now, there is a Labour MP. Well, he used to be. His name's Ian Byrne. He was actually suspended by the party because he voted against them on the welfare reforms and ending the two-child cap benefit limit. And he's given an interview in The Big Issue, and it's quite an interesting one because he's actually pointing out something which should be plainly obvious to anyone in the Labour Party, but for some reason, the leadership are completely ignoring. He's saying you're not going to win the next general election because the policies are toxic. Now, he's long been a campaigner for ending poverty. Well, you won't do that in a crashed economy. Everyone just becomes poorer. You need a booming economy to end that. But he said he didn't expect that when he joined Parliament that he'd be on a direct collision course with his own government over policy. He said it's just weird that the leaders of the party seem to be ones pushing for ever more poverty. Now, he was first elected in 2019. He said we had the whip suspended at the end of last year after that big sort of rebellion over the two-child cap. He has since been reinstated, but it's on a sugary peg. He's not happy. He's not a happy bunny. He fights, and to be fair, he does do a lot of fighting on behalf of food poverty and things. And I understand that. I get where he's coming from. But what he's saying is that when he goes on and knocks on people's doors, he says even in places like Liverpool, where he is an MP, he says that he's getting a lot of abuse. He says the leadership of the party keeps pushing policies that are toxic on the doorstep. He says, and it's almost as though you can't say the S word on YouTube, but the self-ending, take yourself out, I'd word. He says it's like that. He says these policies are S policies. He says because he knocks on the door and people say, what about this? What about that? And they abuse him and they tell him to leave, but just not politely. The two-word version of leave that ends with an off. When Labour are losing favour in Liverpool, it's all over. They're the most staunchly Labour part of the country. He says, but he daren't go out on the knock anymore. The abuse he gets is like a dog's life, he says, because it's policy after policy after policy. He says he does not recognise the party he joined. It's not the Labour Party anymore. Well, he's right, it's not. It's the Communist Workers' Party. They want everyone poor, everyone reliant on the state. They want to punish anyone who does well. They don't want anyone achieving. And that, of course, leads to misery, poverty and destruction. And you won't achieve anything then. But that's unfortunately what's going through the mind of Comrade Starmer. And the likes of Ian Byrne are just not going to be listened to or heard, no matter how hard they try. I'm not saying he's a good MP. He's a socialist, of course, so bloody terrible politics. But at least he's trying. I'll give him that respect. And he has the belief. He's holding true to his beliefs. Again, I'll give him that respect. But he's right about his own party. The leadership aren't listening to anyone. They're certainly not representing the people, anyone of this country, of any flavour or hue. Good luck to him. He's going to need it. I don't think he'll get elected the way it's going. Liverpool not returning a Labour politician. It's unheard of. Thanks very much. Bye.